This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. If you aren't expecting adult language, why even bother listening? Welcome, my friends, to the show of friends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapicco.
I'm Truman, and this is episode 485, Mostly Bad. That's what we're calling this one, Mostly Bad.
I love how last one was a little bit better, and now we're back to Mostly Bad.
Yeah, Mostly Bad.
What a change a week and a half makes, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so Red Bulls, 2-1 loss to Nashville at Nashville, 2-0 loss at NYCFC, and a PK winner against FC Dallas in the U.S. Open Cup. You want to read off the Blue Sky stuff?
Lots of stuff. All right, so let's dig into the Nashville match first. Carlson, RBNY22 said, ugly game across the board. Refs lost control of the match. Need to get right for the derby Saturday. They did not, without Valencia. They did not get ready. James 917212 said, we're not that good against competent teams. Amen. And our friend Chico said, sleepwalking soccer. 4 shots through the first 80 minutes. 4. Not nearly good enough. This team has disappeared again, and now I'm looking at Schwartz. Because they rarely look confident, they rarely look disciplined, and they rarely start on time. Nashville is a good team, don't get me wrong, but the Red Bulls left at least a point on the board and probably a full 3. They had actually played from kickoff rather than whatever the hell we just sat through most of it. Consistency is key, and we're well past time when it should have started showing up. Make changes. Now, just a couple comments from just Chico from the NYCFC game.
And after you do that, I got a voicemail for the NYC game.
Perfect. All right. Schwartz has until Lewis comes back, and if the team doesn't start turning it around, he's got to go. I understand this is not a squad of world beaters right now, but they're better than they've been playing. It doesn't have them ready for MLS competition. There's no reason why this Red Bulls team should be fifth or sixth in the East as is. They play sloppy. They start late. They look like they don't have a game plan in the first half of almost any game they play. They're undisciplined and clearly lacking confidence. That's coaching, in my opinion. And again, our friend James 917212 said, getting used to it this season. And then really quickly, I'll get to the comments on the game we actually won. Carlson RBNY22 said, AJ deserves all the flowers. That was an ugly match, but survived in advance. Sofo is an Open Cup hero for us. Let's hope some of these vibes carry over to DC this weekend. Edward said, Acosta is a whiny bitch. Amen. And here's a good one. El Pauli said, AJ, clap, 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 clap. Yes. I guess that's the clap for him.
Yep. All right. Voicemail. You can guess who it is. Voicemail about the NYC game.
So, did they just waste all their fucking offensive output against a shitty, LA Galaxy team? And then, they got one goal back, of course, against Nashville, but clearly they got outclassed and outplayed. Lackadaisically couldn't put shots in. Here we are in the 90th, 35th second at this point in this game, and here we are. You can't even call it lackadaisically. They didn't really fucking shoot or do anything. Aside from some, attempts of shots on the side, that you can't really call on target unless, that's absolutely asinine. I know I said we were so back on the LA Galaxy, that's the LA Galaxy, message. What are we doing, man? This is bad. They're going to lose 2-0 because they couldn't, get anything in the box against a city team that isn't fucking, astounding at that point. Continuing their, continuing their winless streak away, and here we are. Absolutely asinine. Bad.
Yeah.
Amen.
That was not good.
That sums it up right there. Sums it all up.
I honestly, as soon as goal number 2 went in, I stopped watching the New York City game because I just knew at that point it was over. So, seeing myself about 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, let's give our thoughts on these two likes and dislikes. Dislikes, Truman, you go first. Out of these three, would you dislike the most?
Well, I mean, I think Chico says it best, and he said it twice. That this team they just get late starts over and over again. You honestly saw it in 3 straight games, even in the Open Cup. You know, they don't wake up apparently till the other team scores half the time
Or the second half.
Yeah, it's not the way this team should be playing. Not with the talent that they have. Sure, let's give them to Lewis Morgan is in the starting lineup, but you still have 2 star players. You have a good cast around them. But they are just so. I mean, how many games have they given up the first goal? It's repetitive, except for the LA game. Yeah, they look so sluggish right now that we were trying to get really hopeful, but I think that hope level after this past week and those MLS games has just kind of come crashing down.
Yeah. 7 goals against LA Galaxy. And we knew the Galaxy were not great, right?
Who still have not won a game.
Yeah. But we knew 7 goals against the Galaxy were an aberration. Like we all knew that. We understood it. We didn't think it was that bad of an aberration, though. We needed against FC Dallas a maybe questionable free kick decision and I don't know what you call a really lucky fucking ricochet.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
To tie that game and to go into extra time. And then even with a one-man advantage for the last 10 minutes of a game where everybody's been playing for close to 120 minutes, we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And it took in PKs a save from AJ as well as God, why am I'm blanking on his stupid name right now. The whiny guy.
Costa.
Yeah, Luciano Costa. His fucking attempt to be cheeky just hits the bar. Like, if it's not for those two, we're not winning Open Cup and we're out.
Right.
And I may have been okay with that, the way this team is playing right now. But we're advancing, so at least there's that. Yeah, this is not a good... Coming off of a very good Open Cup victory against the lower league side and what you did to LA Galaxy, that was not a good week and a half since. And we were lucky that we technically advanced in the Open Cup.
Yeah.
Likes, I don't know what's much to like except for the fact that Sophos keeps on scoring.
I think you should give it for AJ Marcucci for making that save in penalties.
Or that double save in the second half that
kept
them in the game.
That too. 2 great plays. So being the backup, as you know, like with Red Bull, well, with most teams, you don't get to see a lot of action. And that was awesome. I mean, I'm jumping in saying that's mine was his play against Dallas, right? That double save. And then, I mean, that last save was really, really great.
I guess for me it would be the just because I mentioned Sofo, because he was the one that scored against Nashville, right? Or am I mistaken? I thought he was, but that dude apparently just keeps scoring in the Open Cup. What they said, 4 straight games now he's scored in the Open Cup.
Yeah, 4 goals. He said he has 4 goals.
Well, no, I thought it was 4 straight games because he scored 2 against Colorado Springs.
Right, and then he had 1 in the previous year when he was playing on Red Bull 2 in the Open Cup.
Oh,
so we had
okay,
1 last year, 2 against Colorado, switchbacks, and 1 in this game.
Okay, fair enough. But still, 4 goals in 3 games in the Open Cup play. That's pretty good. So keep feeding him the ball.
Yeah, Choupo-Moting scored against Nashville, by the way.
Okay. Afterthoughts for the Open Cup. I have to say, I know he's young, but I'm going to fuck the name up. Boknias, the new kid.
Yeah,
I don't know what the potential is. I know it's only really 1 game we've seen him play, like full on play, but I don't understand the potential off that game that they would have used or justified the signing of him.
He's lanky.
I guess,
I don't know how else to describe him. He's 6. How old is he? He's 6'4".
But it's not like we were making crosses that he could have headed in.
Right. I don't know. I mean, also it's still Open Cup, so they're still not throwing a full squad out there to start games. There's also that.
I understand that, but I mean, his one-on-one play wasn't that great either. Like, I don't know. I obviously the scouts are going to see a lot more than me.
Mm-hmm.
But just from that one sample point, I don't know why we went out to get him, especially since Sofo apparently is like taking on the. You can make a legit argument that it should be Sofo and Choupo-Moting up top with two forwards at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think everything changes when Lewis Morgan is healthy and in the starting lineup.
I see. I'm arguing for Sofo and Morgan and Choupo-Moting at the same time at this point. Because I feel like if Sofo's been performing, you don't take him out.
Well, he's performing in the Open Cup. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. All right. Any other afterthoughts for these games?
I don't think so. It was a rough week or so.
Yeah, it was also rough on the prediction standings because none of us got points.
No. So much for us being positive, but that's changing right now. The positivity ends.
And of course, that's going to start with facing DC United this coming Saturday, May 24th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. DC comes to this game with a 3-5-6 record, 14 points, a -12 goal difference, number 12 in the Eastern Conference. And they did beat us at home. I forget the score, but they did beat us at home in the return leg. Last 5 MLS matches for DC, a loss, a win, a loss, and 2 draws. So Truman, what do you think is going to happen against the Scum on Saturday?
I mean, I think 99% of the time I do not bet on the Red Bulls to ever lose to DC United. But in this case, I have no faith in them in winning a road game right now. Absolutely none. They're definitely getting knocked out of the Open Cup in the next round because they have to play in Philadelphia. So that's a loss. And really quickly on that, of course they're going to lose because if they won that game, they get the next game at home. So you know they're going to fuck it up. Anyway, playing in DC, I do not trust this team on the road right now. How could you? They are piss poor. 2 straight just really bad road performances. They haven't played well at all on the road. Playing the week, I like nothing about this game. I'm going to say a 1-0 loss. Oh, it makes me sick. I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry, Chico. I'm sorry, all you guys. Taxi, I'm sorry. It really makes me sick to my stomach to predict a loss for this game.
So I know they have not won on the road this year. I am going to check because I'm pretty sure they've not. Okay, never mind. I thought they didn't even draw on the road, but they did draw at Atlanta. They drew at Orlando. That's it. So in their away matches this year, they lost to Cincy, drew Atlanta, lost to New England, drew Orlando, lost to Inter Miami, lost to Nashville, lost to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great road record. The thing that I thought was kind of damning was when at the New York City game, the announcers were like, the Red Bulls have not lost 2 games in a row. I'm like, yeah, but we've never won on the road. So
Right. It's about to stop.
I do not see. I hate to say this because at one point I was doing this and I thought we were done with it, but I'm back to having to predict losses until they prove they can even draw at this point, especially on the road. I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be another 2-0 victory because we can't beat anybody right now, let alone teams below us in the standings, really.
You mean 2-0 victory for DC, not for us?
Did I say 2-0 win?
Yes, you did. You said
Okay.
victory, but
You're right. I meant 2-0 for DC. So it's 2-0 loss for us. Because we are not performing right now. I think Morgan's questionable, so maybe he's in the 18. I honestly don't play him. If he's questionable, don't play him this week. Save him. But yeah, I can't put my faith in them at the moment to do anything on the road.
Nope.
They got to earn that trust to even get a point, which is sad.
Yeah, but you can't think any other way right now.
Yeah. The Red Bulls will have a home game coming up though midweek. Wednesday, May 28th, 7:30 p.m. Will they host Charlotte? As with all games, we do 2 match days out. This is subject to change on predictions. Charlotte will come into the weekend where they're facing Columbus with a 6-1-7 record, 19 points, a +3 goal difference, 8th in the East. Last 5 in MLS, helps if I put this in the right line, are all losses, 5 straight losses before Columbus. So it's possible they come into with 6 straight losses, but I don't know. But Truman, what are your initial thoughts for hosting Charlotte at home next week?
I mean, just because I can't see them losing 4 games in a row, I could say they could. I'm only being positive because they're at home. I'm going to flip the script, say a 1-0 win. I'll give them at least the confidence to squeak out a midweek point. I know Charlotte's not going to be, they'll be a little tired also too, playing this midweek game, playing this weekend. So that's the best I'm going to give them is just 2 teams that will probably be tired, and I think the Red Bulls can at least eke it out at home.
I don't know if I can trust them even at home for a point, honestly. Well, Memphis a win, definitely a win. I can't trust them at home right now. I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw against Charlotte, a team that's better than us, a competent team. Just I don't know. I can't trust anything this team does right now. So I want to be positive. I really do, but I can't. 1-1's going to be my version of positive at the moment.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad, but that's where I am with this team.
Yeah.
My only hope is I can actually watch 2 games in a row live, or make it 3 at this point, because I watched the Open Cup live. All right. Is that it for those games?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, there was something Nashville, because I just remembered it. That was the first time that they beat us since joining the league.
Yes. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Thank you, 2025 Red Bulls, for ending that streak.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, New York Red Bulls 2. Their last match was a 4-1 victory over New England 2. They will next take on Crown Legacy, which is Charlotte's team, on Wednesday, June 4th at 4 p.m. They are currently 5-2-2 with +3 goal difference, 18 points, 3rd in Group A, whatever the fuck that is, in MLS Next Pro. So that's a good sign that they're doing something. Gotham FC, their last NWSL match, they lost 1-0 to San Diego Wave, but they beat America in the, I forget what the hell the full name is for Club America. There we go. They beat Club America 3-1 in the CONCACAF W Champions Cup this past Wednesday. Which, fun fact, if you actually pay attention to the halftime show for the Red Bulls Open Cup game, it was the Galazzo Network talking about NWSL teams in W Champions League or Champions Cup.
Which was weird because during the broadcast, they pretty much said that Tony Miola was in the broadcasting booth for a halftime show or pregame show.
He was definitely there. He was definitely there for the pregame show.
Yeah. So weird.
Yeah. So Gotham FC, by the way, winning on Wednesday. Tomorrow night, Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, they are taking on Tigres women in the final of the W Champions Cup, presumably down in Mexico. But you want to see a team in Red Bull Arena / Sports Illustrated Stadium possibly win a trophy again. That's what you should tune into on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. With that, it is time for the F1 update.
And box now, box forward. Stay out.
Well, finally, something positive to talk about. Hey, look, I'm even wearing the hoodie today.
Yeah.
That performance in Italy for Red Bull was absolutely fantastic. If you want to start with Max qualifying second and literally taking 3 turns to take the lead and never looked back in lap 1.
I thought it was officially 1.
I'm trying to think it was like a, move kind of thing. That was what an amazing pass on Oscar Piastri that was, to never give up the lead, even when there was a restart late in, slow restart late in the race, still able to pile a win. But maybe more impressive was Yuki Tsunoda crashing in the first round of qualifying, having to start 20th and finishing 10th. That's a hell of a performance on his part. Good weekend by Red Bull. I'm hoping to see more driving like that from Yuki. Now, this weekend, of course, is Monaco. And Jay, what's the most important thing about Monaco?
Qualifying first.
Qualifying first, because you're probably going to win the race, barring something completely insane.
Well, we'll see this year since they changed that. Now they're making it a mandatory 2-stopper for Monaco.
Yeah, but it's a tough race to win when you're not qualifying first or second. The bad news is I am working this Sunday, but the good news, I don't work till 11. The race is at 9, so I will probably be able to watch. I would say at least 80% of it before I have to head out to work. So pretty happy about that. It should be a fun weekend. I mean, the way Max's car performed in Italy, why can't it perform again like that this weekend? He just has to get into that top 1 or 2. And I don't see why he couldn't do that again.
Yeah. I think the thing that about Red Bull doing so well, 1, that was like a classic performance from last year. 2, they got really fucking lucky with safety cars.
Yes.
Because they were able to get that basically 2 free pit stops because of safety cars.
Yeah. Yep, true.
And I think if it wasn't for the first one especially, Max would not have been in first when he came out of the pit stop. He probably would have been like 3rd or 4th. And having to fight back would have been tough.
Yeah.
But being able to just come out and even when he came out, because it was the virtual safety car, I think he still had like a 10-second lead at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he probably would have been like 15, 20 seconds ahead at the end of the race, if not for the full-on safety car later.
Yeah. That was the only thing that prevented like a blowout win in first place.
But even then, once they restarted, I think he finished 5 seconds ahead or something like that. So
he did. Yeah, I was just looking at it earlier too. 6 seconds.
6, but I mean that's that, and I forget how many laps that was, but that just reminded me of last year, or at least early last year, where Max was winning races by easily 30 seconds plus.
Yeah,
and I think Yuki going from 20th to 10th is a big thing because 1, I think it means that the car has improved. And
that's
2,
what I think too. 100%, right?
And on top of that, Yuki knows how to manage tires, which is an important skill in F1. Because he was also on that one-stop strategy, or the run long strategy, and it worked for him. Because I think him and Max basically double stacked on the 2 safety cars.
Yeah,
since they had enough space, so that's good for them going forward.
Yeah,
like we'll see.
Yep.
I think there was multiple red flags in practices today, so we'll see. Yeah. All right. With that, time for the dumping ground.
I'm the trash man.
All right. So I'll give you the big news first. This is the big news. All right. And then I'm going to touch on something else that I think you and I would both be interested in. But first of all, big news. Swindon Supermarine has now hired a new manager. His name is Bobby Wilkinson. So I know we're all very excited about that. If you want to know the other teams he's managed, it's Bracknell, Hemel Hempstead, Weymouth, Hungerford, and Wealdstone. So there you go. Very exciting. Swindon Supermarine with a new manager, a 2-year contract. His quote is, "I am looking forward to working with this family club with great ambitions, and I am very excited for the new challenge ahead." Maybe we get him on the show. What are the odds we can get this guy on the show?
Hopefully pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah. So very exciting. Now, do you have anything else before I get into my topic number 2?
Quickly, the last match at Goodison, I talked about last time that it was happening. Goodison is now officially no longer part of the Premier League. Last match is done. Glad that it was a relatively easy 2-0 victory. Proper send-off for the stadium. Love the fact that they had the post-game stuff. The one thing I will complain about is Peacock had advertised that they were going to broadcast that hour-long thing live. Never broadcasted live. Not even available on demand. TNT Sports in the UK was showing it live, so they're supposed to be showing it on YouTube. That was my backup. But even that, basically the first 20 to 30 minutes I missed because they were live on YouTube and then delayed it by 10 minutes. And I was listening to the Everton audio feed and I literally heard the start of the ceremony. And then eventually the countdown got done and they said the feed just disappeared, came back. I had it on for like 10 seconds, disappeared again. and then it came back and like finally got to finish it out. But it's just I don't know what happened between Peacock and TNT Sports, but holy crap!
Hopefully, you can find the whole thing somewhere like on YouTube.
There was a fan who kind of stitched together what he could, so I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, somebody did it.
So that will segue into what I was going to talk about, because that was actually one of the things I was going to touch on. But this has been one of the best seasons of Premier League football ending this weekend that you could possibly get. Of course, I'm very happy that Liverpool won the Premier League, which is great. But look at the teams following at the top. Look at the teams ending in the bottom. You had Newcastle winning a cup. You had Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup over Man City, which is unbelievable. So that's an incredible result. And hey, I mean, Newcastle beat Liverpool. So these two middling clubs beating two top clubs, 4 trophies. You then had near bottom of the table Tottenham playing near bottom of the table Manchester United in the Europa Cup final, with Tottenham beating them 1-0. So Man United wins absolutely nothing. Man City wins absolutely nothing. Arsenal wins absolutely nothing. And then this weekend, you have the best game is absolutely 100% Nottingham Forest playing at home to Chelsea. If Nottingham Forest win, they are in Champions League, which is something they haven't seen in decades. So it should be a great finish. There's not really much to talk about at the top or the very bottom, but that is hands down the best game of the weekend. Of course, I will be watching Liverpool hoist the trophy. But again, that is the game to watch if you're not a Liverpool fan. Again, what a great season they had in the Premier League.
And just to add a little bit of spice to Nottingham Forest, so Sky Sports is covering the game in the UK, and apparently Nottingham Forest has told Sky Sports that Gary Neville is not allowed in the stadium to cover the game on Saturday or Sunday. So he won't be there.
Wow.
They're not giving him the credentials to be there to cover the game.
That is amazing.
So, I'm not sure what Gary Neville did to piss off the team, but
incredible.
That's the first I've heard of a team saying no to a single broadcast like that.
That is amazing.
Yeah. All right. So is that it for Dumping Ground?
That is all I have.
I feel like there's something I was going to mention, but I can't remember what off the top of my head. No, I can't do it. All right. Anyway, on to the last segment of the show, Truman's terrible team of the week.
That's terrible.
Really easy. It was rivalry weekend, and I know we looked bad, but not as bad as Montreal at home to Toronto, where they lost 6-1 in their own building against TFC. That is probably the second big woof of the season so far, besides when we beat LA 7-0.
Yeah. And honestly, that one could be worse because you lost at home 6-1.
Yep.
All right. Is that it?
That is all I have.
Okay. Let's wrap this one up. You can visit us at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month gets you exclusive content whenever we decide to do it. I want to thank our producers, Jeremiah Dempster, Steven Santos, Eddie Lucko. Thank you for supporting the show. Email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. You can call us 973-348-5329. You get your voice on the show, just like Eddie did today. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Blue Sky, at Red Bull Rant, at Dr. Stooge for myself, at The Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
All right, this is where I sound extra excited and super pumped with the Red Bulls this weekend. Yay, yay, yay. This is where I'm not making a prediction, and I'm saying, listen, don't embarrass me. I predict you lose, but surprise me this weekend and win.
All right, so for Truman and myself, this has been episode 485 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, go Red Bulls.
Peace out.